here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation. Making news just for you. It's November 3rd here in Seoul. I'm Shin-Yoon, and you're watching News Generation. Joining me in the studio is Choi-Ji.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and Now Song.
Happy Friday!
Now, both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. And speaking of it being a Friday, for the past few weeks, we've dedicated each Friday to telling you how to better enjoy the autumn season. And given that the seasons are changing very drastically, we're going to end that series off today, and mainly by introducing the must-eat dishes during this time of the year. Here in Korea, we even have a saying that it's the time of the year when horses get so plump because it's when we have the best harvest. So here in the studio, have you ever heard of this saying, starting with you, Ji?
Of course, it's really the best Korean saying to really describe the perfect autumn we have here in the country. It's often referred to as this clear high skies and plump horses, or 천고마비.
Yes.
And it's also known for the season of books and reading as well. And autumn in Korea is characterized by the perfect, crisp, cool breeze, the sunshine, making it the best time of the year. And also the harvested crops are so plentiful. That's why we have this saying. So even the livestock, they have a chance to fatten up and making it difficult to find a reason to not really like this peaceful season. But it's not just these animals, but it's also us, people who get fat as well.
Exactly.
And also we have Chuseok in the country, right?
Yeah.
At the Korean Thanksgiving. And that also falls in autumn to celebrate the harvest of the year.
I can't agree with you more. I think autumn is like the best time of the year when you can actually get plump. And the excuse being that the year's harvest is when it's peaking. What do you think, Now?
Yeah, I love that saying. The sky is high and we get fat. It's a great time. And honestly, it's one of my it is my favorite season of all time because you kind of notice that the weather is getting kind of colder. So you're a little sentimental, but you can put your blanket on, get a little cozy. And I feel like this is almost a worldwide sentiment. Like if you do have autumn in your country, like in the States, it's like the season of pumpkin everything,
Love it.
Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin pies, pumpkin that. And today we're going to talk about what kind of things are, I guess, the equivalent of pumpkin spices in Korea. So I'm really excited to talk about this.
Exactly. I'm very excited too because we're speaking of harvest, we're talking about food, and we're all foodies here in the studio. And speaking of that, what are the best seasonal fruits during this time of the year? Why don't you introduce that?
All right, well, fall is really a season of flavorful and nourishing fruits like apples and also pears, Korean pears I'm talking about. And we also have persimmons, chestnuts, figs, one of my favorite, and pomegranates as well. Fall apples in particular are very, very rich in vitamins, water, and fiber, and are perfect for the season. Apples, we can have them every year throughout the year, but then the seasonal apples are the best. And also pears are particularly helpful in treating colds and bronchial illnesses that are common during this time of year. And Korean pears, with their unique taste and appearance, they're very round. They're huge too. Crunchy and very refreshing. And they're very popular as a hangover drink as well. And they even have the grated pear drinks available. I had one yesterday as well. And as the old adage goes, fall is the season of ripe persimmons as well. Persimmons come in various forms, like firm persimmons. I like the firm ones too. Dried persimmons, but they're really high in sugar. Remember that. And there's hongshi, which is the ripe persimmons. That's my favorite.
I love those.
And in Korea, persimmons are dried during the cold winter months to make a unique and delicious natural preserved snack called gokkam as well. And although we can now enjoy fruits all year round thanks to greenhouses, like I said, nothing compares to the flavor of seasonal fruits. And they're really healthy and nutritious as well. And there's also the significance that they're also used in memorial rituals for our ancestors. Yes, so they're very beneficial overall to our health, and they're really delicious.
And I think it's really interesting because recently you went to Taiwan, right?
I did.
And you tried their seasonal fruits.
I did.
And what was the one that you tried
The
out?
tropical ones. One of them was sugar apple. It was my first time trying it. I'm sure some of the people who are living in the tropical areas have tried it a lot, but it was really, really good.
Exactly.
It's similar to, what should I call it, like durian. It doesn't taste like it, but the texture is kind of like durian.
So it's not an actual apple.
It's
just
not an
called
apple. It's
one, right?
nothing like an apple.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just called a sugar apple.
But that's my point exactly.
Yeah.
I think once you go to different countries,
Exactly.
especially during like specific seasons, it's always nice to try their own unique fruit because you can't really get it in other parts of the world.
Yeah, and like I was saying, Korea during autumn time is so beautiful. So if you guys are watching, I definitely recommend coming to Korea during fall time. And I want to kind of dive into the seafood area because it is the best season to have seafood here in Korea. So fall, they have spotted sardines, and you can see on the screen right now. And these you can eat roasted, as you can see right there, and raw, like kind of you can pickle them with vegetables. And the thing with these sardines is there's this saying, a daughter-in-law who has left the house because she's so upset with her mother-in-law will come back at the smell of spotted sardines roasting. That's just how good it is, okay? And there's also many different types of crabs. There's salted roasted crab and fried crab, and of course the marinated crabs. There's the soy sauce marinated and the spicy marinated crabs, and you eat it like that with the rice. And pretty much they're called rice thieves because you end up eating like maybe 10 bowls of rice because of these delicious side dishes. And of course the soups, you can have crabs put into soups, even your instant noodles, it will make them better. As you can see, these clams are called cockles, and you kind of pickle them as well in spicy sauce and soy sauce. And they're so delicious. You can just eat them right off, with vegetables, or you can eat them with your rice, and it's so delicious. Definitely must try. As you can see, they're actually putting the sauce on top of, I'm kind of choking with my spit because I'm now hungry, but they're actually placing the sauce on top of the clam itself, and you can kind of, eat it straight off the clam or in kind of a bibimbap situation where you can
Mix
put
it
the
together.
clam into the rice.
Yeah.
I'm my mouth is watering so much. I'm so sorry.
I know.
It's so delicious.
Exactly. I don't know if our viewers could hear, but my stomach started to grumble as soon as you showed us all the videos there. And
Koreans, I just want to talk about
Yeah.
the clams and the crabs, but because it's such a short video, love crabs. And I want to talk about a recent, world event that happened.
Yeah.
In Italy, there was a bunch of crabs that they didn't know what to do with because it's not part of kind of their traditional cooking, right? They were the blue crabs, and they actually had to dispose of them. And when you dispose of food, you actually pay money. You end up losing money. And so a lot of the Koreans in the comments for those videos were saying, please let us help you out. I learned that from my parents. We need to help out a brother in need.
Yeah.
And so we actually started importing them into the country, and we're making them into marinated crabs. And even if you just put one leg into, like I was saying, your instant noodles, it will change the flavor
It really does.
entirely, right? And there's also different things like shrimps. There's kind of the bigger shrimps
Yes,
called
teha.
teha.
Yeah.
And you just roast them with salt, and it's just so delicious. If you're visiting, definitely try the shrimps, the crabs, and the roasted sardines.
And the cockles and everything. Like, there's just so much seafood. And I think it has to do with our geographic location, given that we are a peninsula, we have many different oceans, so much fresh seafood to enjoy during this time of the year. And also, it's quite interesting, as you mentioned, for other countries, crabs might not be like the best of cuisine, but in Korea, we have it with everything, and it's considered a luxury to have. But now that we're seeing prices come down a bit, I think it's a chance for us to go get crabs right after the show, hopefully.
The king crabs.
Yes. Now, I'd like to introduce some other veggies that are commonly used to make the best autumn delicacies here in Korea. If you take a look at the screen, I will show you what types of vegetables are harvested this time of the year, starting with pumpkins. I think for most places with autumn, a representative fall dish has basically everything to do with pumpkin. In the States, it's like Thanksgiving pumpkin pie, but here in Korea, we usually make pumpkin porridge. It's sweet and smooth. We often put in chewy small rice ball cakes with garnishes of persimmon and pumpkin seeds. Another similar savory dish is sweet potatoes, unlike those found in the States. They usually have an orange color in the States, but here in Korea we have purple flesh potatoes that are naturally a little sweeter. And this time of the year, it's common to roast them, so it becomes even more sweet and hot. We call it 군고구마 in Korean.
Oh, so good.
Yes, and we have another regular one. It's called potatoes. You guys all might know. And there's so many different style dishes based on how we cook them. Like we can make potato pancakes like on the screen that are quite savory. It goes great with soy sauce. There's also bread that looks exactly like a potato and it tastes like it. And in Korean, potato is 감자 and bread is bang. So we call this potato bread 감자빵. And it first originated in the Gangwon-do province because Gangwon-do province is well known for harvesting a lot of potatoes. It's very chewy. And once they made this 감자빵 potato bread, people would actually go to Gangwon province just to have it.
I love kamjapang.
I've tried it.
It's so
nice,
delicious.
right? But wasn't it quite interesting to at first I thought it was just a regular potato that you took out from the ground.
Yeah, it looks like it has kind of a bit of the dirt on it too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
kamjapang definitely must try.
it.
Exactly, and for like a lot of dishes here in Korea, once it starts from a specific region, at the end of the day, if you wait out a few months, I think it does become viral all over the nation.
We're really about that trend.
And you can try it out. Have you ever tried anything related to 감자, like potatoes or sweet potatoes?
I personally really like just boiled potato or steamed potato.
Yes, 군고구마.
No,
Which
not
one?
Wait, what was I saying?
Steamed.
No, steamed potato,
Not
not
steamed ones. I don't know that one.
You just steam potatoes.
There's water, and
Very
then you
simple, water.
boil the water and you let the steam cook it.
Okay.
And I like having it with a little bit of sugar.
Oh,
Brown
really?
sugar, yes.
You know, that's actually a controversial debate among our generation.
Sugar or salt,
Sugar or
right?
salt.
Okay, let me tell you the ultimate Korean ways
Uh-huh.
to eat sweet potato. You take the steamed sweet potato, you take kimchi, and you
wait.
you wrap it in kimchi and
That's
eat it.
perfect. But that's with sweet potato. But
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
just potato.
Oh, just potato.
Yeah, just potato. It's sugar,
I think
salt,
it's both.
or mayonnaise.
I think it's salt and sugar.
Oh, okay.
But
mixed.
as you can see, like throughout the whole episode, we've introduced many different seasonal dishes. But I think a kick to it is, I think based on like your preference, you can mix and add everything. For instance, sweet potatoes go along with kimchi. Potatoes, though it's controversial, can go with sugar or salt. And there's just so many different types of ways you can have all these seasonal foods. And we asked if any of our viewers tried seasonal dishes in Korea. Here's what 3 of them had to say. Take a look at the screen to find out. Let's start with Hannah. Hannah said, in Japan, fall heralds the arrival of matsutake or pine mushrooms. These luxurious mushrooms are a seasonal delicacy, often used in soups, stews, and other dishes. A popular autumnal dish is matsutake gohan, which is rice with matsutake mushrooms. SGR said 15 years ago, lots of bakeries in the US sold donuts in October with Halloween-colored sprinkles, and I loved eating them, but this tradition is rapidly dying out there. Now, in the Bangladesh, Tasmia said, we eat sweet potatoes and porridge with pickles during autumn. Now, instead of our viewers sharing what their favorite seasonal dishes were here in Korea, they've actually done the honors of sharing their favorite seasonal dishes in their own respective countries. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for us to also share our favorite pick of autumn dishes, starting with you, Ji.
Well, I personally really love fruits, so I want to recommend persimmons to you. But in particular, I mentioned this earlier, I really like the hongshi or the ripe persimmon because they're really, really soft, they're really juicy. You know that texture,
It's like
right?
pudding almost.
Yeah, it's really like pudding. And you can even freeze them as well and eat them
Yes,
like
the
ice
best.
cream with a spoon. So I really want you to try persimmons. And we talked about sweet potatoes, right? And Nael mentioned the best way that Koreans like to enjoy it with kimchi. Kimchi, but I want to also tell you to try it this way. I don't exactly know how to, wait, I do. Wait, put sugar, boil it together and let it to dry and it will become, well, you have to slice it into little cubic forms.
I know where you're going with
yes,
this.
it's called 고구마 matang.
Like caramelized sweet
Caramelized,
potatoes.
yes, perfect. That's the perfect word. So you have to try that as a snack as well. So those are my 2 favorite.
I think if you go to like those 휴게소, that's in Korean, but like those rest stops in between the highways, you can try 고구마 matang, like those
yeah.
caramelized sweet potatoes. And also, speaking of potatoes, there's also 회오리 감자,
yes.
hurricane potatoes.
Oh, yes.
And I'm not sure, it's not only found like seasonally, it's not only just restricted here in the autumn time, but you can try all these different like potato-based stuff, sweet potato stuff. But I would like to take a different approach as to what I would have during the autumn. My go-to food, given the fact that I've grown up in the States, is having pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. But in Korea, like though traditionally we would have a lot of pumpkin porridge or pumpkin pancakes, a lot of restaurants these days and a lot of chefs are taking the stance of using fusion food. So they're taking on menus like from the States or parts of Europe and using our traditional harvested crops to make these dishes. So it's fusion style.
Yeah.
And I love
Sounds
trying
good.
that out. What about you now?
Okay, so if you guys are in Korea indeed, definitely travel to Jeju because it's beautiful during fall.
is.
And if you're sitting by the ocean and you order a seafood ramen, it'll come out with these crabs
Right.
inside the ramen with, like mussels and other types of seafood in it. And I don't know how to tell you. It's literally the best ramen I had. There's always this debate of which ramen is the best, the ones you have in a ski resort but hands down, during autumn time in Jeju, sitting by the ocean, having the seafood noodles with crabs in it is the best. And I want to add on to the potato debate as well. Because during the rest stops, people, like we mentioned earlier, are always debating whether to put salt or sugar in it. I really think you should put both and you should eat sugar and salt. And if you have a little bit of butter, put that in there.
Perfect.
And
Whoa.
it just makes it into this beautiful, golden, sugary, salty potato roast thing that it's my secret recipe.
I'm gonna try it out. It sounds very savory. And in Korean, we actually have a saying for that, 단짠, 단짠,
Yes.
meaning
Yeah.
it's sweet and salty, sweet and salty.
It's never ending.
It's never ending. That's why you keep eating it. Now, as a final note then, what do you guys think are the benefits of actually trying out these seasonal foods, especially in the autumn time?
Well, there are so many different benefits, but I'd like to mention 3 of them.
Okay.
Firstly, seasonal food is healthier for you, like I said, because it's fresher, tastier, and more nutritious. Because it hasn't traveled long distances, meaning they haven't been preserved for a long time because they're seasonal food, they don't use waxes, pesticides, or preservatives. Secondly, eating seasonal food is better for the environment as well because it's grown in its natural state, which means it doesn't require any other resources to grow or transport them. So you're really reducing the carbon footprint as well.
Wow.
And also, last but not least, eating seasonal food supports local suppliers as well, which contributes to the sustainable living of these individual farmers as well as the community. So if you do eat seasonal food, it doesn't just feel good, but you're also doing good to other people, the community, and the environment.
Yeah, while you're having great seasonal food in Korea, you would be contributing to society. And speaking of these like local suppliers, I would like to mention a lot of people think that November is like the time to celebrate Pepero Day because November 11th, the digits 1111 look like the chocolate covered sticks. But actually, we would like to promote that it's a day for where we celebrate and commemorate our local farmers and the agricultural community. And I think that that's the reason why we should try out these seasonal
Right.
delicacies out, especially during autumn time because it's harvest season. We're just seeing so many farmers put in their work. So maybe it's a good opportunity for us to try it. Where do you stand on that?
That's so great. I didn't know that it was good for the environment to eat seasonal foods. But adding on top of that, specifically for autumn foods, I mean, there's seasonal foods during summertime as well. But it's so great for seafood because the weather is cooler so that the food doesn't decay. So if you're by the ocean and having the fresh seafood, I'm sorry, I'm like the biggest seafood promoter.
By the
but
sea-
that's why I think it's so great during autumn because it's cooler.
And I'd like to add, like, also when you come in autumn, one thing you can do is trying to make kimchi. Because this is actually the perfect season for you to make the kimchi and ferment it so you can have it perfectly throughout the whole season wide. So once you do come into Korea during the autumn time, there's so many things for you to do. And as we've dedicated the past Fridays for the couple of episodes on how you can better enjoy the season, make sure to go back and look at every single one of them to find out the perfect location, perfect entertainment source, and as you found out today, the perfect seasonal food you can enjoy. In the meantime, we'll be here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks to Chiji.
Thank you.
And Alsong.
No problem.
All right, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next week. We are
News Generation.